in your deliberations. When you're done, you can keep those, leave them in the jury room, discard them, whatever you want to do. When you
how everything went down today.
You better start thinking about how this happened, or we're going to take your children. What would you confess to? What would I confess to if I was told, I'm going to take your kids? I'm going to take your kids unless you really think about how this went down. And she already knows how they want it to have gone down. They told her. What really happened is you were mad at him and you gunned the car. And she gives up. Fine. It wasn't an accident. 3 times she says it, sobbing the entire time. It wasn't an accident. After she says over and over and over and over and over in her statement that it was. Why? I'd suggest that this little scene has a lot to do with that. And even after she said it's not an accident.
My plan was to, I wanted him to go to jail today. I didn't want him to go to 14th Street and get his gun. I didn't want him to go over there. I didn't want him to come back to my house. My plan was if I could just scare him for the police, if I could just stall to where the police would just come to where we're at, because I'm pretty sure if somebody's calling this down the street, I could just got him to where he could just stay still and he'd go to jail. That would be fine, because then he wouldn't mess with me anymore. I wasn't trying to kill him. That wasn't my intention, if I would just hit him and kill him. No. I wasn't trying to kill him. And I never would have imagined that he would die. My plan was...
Even after that, she says, I never intended to hit him. I never intended to kill him. I never would have imagined that he would die. Was it a bad decision to follow him with the car? Yeah, probably. Would she have managed to hold on to him until the police got there? Maybe, maybe not. But that's what she was trying to do. That is her intent. And that is what she held to until she was told that they could take her children. It's a murder case. The burden of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt. It is a high burden to bear. They have to prove to you what her intent was in that moment. Because they bear that burden. Brittany comes in here with a presumption of innocence. That means they have to bring you the evidence of her intent. That means you have to disregard the bruises on her body and the assault that took place. You have to disregard the fact that she traveled 6 blocks at 4.5 miles, 0.45 miles, trying to get him to get in the car. You have to disregard the statement that she was going slow the entire time. You have to disregard the state's witness on the state of the crime scene and the movement of the vehicle. You have to disregard those clear tire prints. And you're going to have to disregard Dr. Krause's testimony and the state of the vehicle. not guilty of murder.
Mr. Gillespie, you have 31 minutes remaining. 31.
And this is 2 days before she runs him down. April 22nd, she texts him, "I'm going to show you I'm not to be played with." Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's exactly what she did that day. You can see the threats. It's not a threat. It's not one text message that can be misinterpreted. It is a whole scheme of text messages that are very clear of what she was thinking about. Not a premeditated crime, but she was angry enough, she was jealous enough, that she was beginning to threaten him with violence, and it was escalating up until the day that she ran him down. Those threats are important because they show her criminal state, they show what's going on in her mind. And then we have her words after to Detective Love. You have the Detective Love explains to her there's a difference in accidentally hitting somebody and intentionally hitting somebody, and she interrupts him and says, "It wasn't an accident, it wasn't. I ran right into him, it wasn't an accident." Her words say that. I think it's ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen, the suggestion that the detectives say, you need to be thinking about your kids, you want to see your kids, and so her response to that, she's so intimidated that she confesses to murder. Does that make any sense at all? If you're concerned about your children and you didn't run somebody down intentionally, that's going to make you double down on your story on saying it wasn't intentional. That doesn't even make sense what they're saying. She also tells Detective Love that she was angry with him that day, that she was angry that he had partied without her the night before, and that he had never walked away from her like that. And I think that's what's crucial. You saw the realization that he was never going to leave him before her. And then she tells Detective Love he never walked away from me like that. I think that's when she finally formed the intent, when she realized he wouldn't get in the car, he wasn't going to tell her it was okay, he wasn't going to say everything's okie dokie, hunky dory, I love you, baby. He wasn't going to say that. He was gone. He was walking away and then he was running away. And she said he'd never done that before. Now about Detective Love. Defendant tries to get you to ignore her damning admissions to Detective Love by somehow saying, he intimidated her. He interviewed her for an hour and a half. He was very polite. You got to see him on the stand. Heck of a nice guy. His job is to protect all of us. He's part of the Crimes Against Persons unit. He investigates when people do violent things to other people. It would be nice, ladies and gentlemen, if we lived in the world of make-believe, and Miss Bella apparently would like you to think we live in, where every person who's accused of a violent crime comes in and tells the officers the truth the very first time. But you heard from Detective Love that what often happens is minimization. You've dealt with little kids before. You know how people who are caught minimize their actions. I tripped and fell into the brownies. I didn't really get a brownie. It's minimization. That's what she was doing that day, minimizing her conduct. He ran toward me. It was his fault. I didn't mean to hit him. Ladies and gentlemen, you saw that car, talk about evidence. You heard Dr. Krause's testimony and also Lamont's testimony that if someone is running toward a vehicle that's moving at its speed, they're going to fall up on the hood. There was no evidence of that. That's not what happened. That shows he was not running toward her car. Detective Love was right when he told her that her story didn't match the physical evidence. Ms. Miller says, oh, well, they didn't have the reports. They should have waited until the reports. No, he did what he should have done, which is get a statement from her, lock her down, get a statement. And Ms. Miller said, oh, he didn't have any basis for saying it didn't match physical evidence. You heard he's a veteran homicide investigator. He's investigated many vehicular homicides. He has that training and that experience. He had been to the scene, and he saw that it did not match. That what she was saying did not match what he saw at the scene. You heard from Officer Lamont after he finished his report that there was no evidence of any evasive measures, no evidence of swerving, no evidence that he was running toward the car. And the evidence, Officer Lamont found that she hit him square on because of where she hit him on the license plate. That's hitting someone intentionally. Detective Love was correct when he told her it didn't match the evidence he saw at the scene. He was not misleading her, he was right. And Officer Lamont and Dr. Krause have backed him up on that. And ladies and gentlemen, there was nothing wrong with what he did in that interview room. You saw me offer that statement. Miss Bella, you heard her say no objection to that interview. She had no legal objection to what happened in that interview room. He did not violate the law. Detective Love followed the law when he interviewed Miss Wetzel. And Judge Brotherton admitted that statement. It's before you, and you should consider her words. Then there was that whole idea, I thought it was one of the ridiculous things I've seen. 40 is greater than 3. You heard Detective Love's answer to that. 40 lies is not greater than 3 truthful statements. I can tell you 50 times it's Christmas Day. It doesn't make it so. You know, you can say something over and over and over, and someone who had just run someone down and killed them has every incentive in the world to try to blame the other person or say it's an accident. The other idea is, you know, she keeps going. She doesn't stop after she hits it. If you've ever hit anything with a car, you heard Ms. Hell's testimony, just a pothole shakes the car. Can you imagine what running over a human body and crushing someone to death with your car, how that must, what that must feel like? She runs him down, it has to shake her car, and she keeps going. There's a good distance, look at the photos, from where she hits him to where she winds up. She does not brake. She doesn't attempt to brake at that point. That shows her state of mind that she's intentionally running him down. If you so much as hit a squirrel or a cat or a dog, you stop immediately. She hits a human being and keeps on circling back around. I submit to you, the only reason she'd circle back around, 2 things. 1, she's trying to get away, or 2, she's circling around to get him again. Those were the 2 things that made any sense to that. If she hit him accidentally, she would have stopped close to, because she's crunching him with her vehicle. And ladies and gentlemen, she doesn't stop her car. It gets stuck in the mud. And what was the evidence? She rocks it to try to get it out, and then it gets stuck again. That's what Officer Lamont testified to. She's trying to get out to either leave or to hit him again. And that's important because she's stuck at the scene at that point. She's run someone down. Her babies are in the car with her. She's stuck there at the scene. So, of course, she has to come up with some story to say because she's just run somebody down in the middle of a field. She's stuck there, and she can't get away. It's her car. This isn't something that she can hit him and then drive off. She's caught at the scene. That's when she starts saying it's an accident. And ladies and gentlemen, her evidence, her testimony is that she wasn't coasting through the field, that she pushed the gas as she entered the lot. There's no evidence to contradict that. In fact, Pamela Strong testified she heard her accelerate after she gets in the car. So the evidence, the live witness, the independent witness says that she heard her accelerate. There's no question about that. Her actions show her intent. We talked about her words. Now her actions show her intent. She sees him in the field. She runs him down in the middle of the field. He's not in a road. He's not in a street. It's not an accident when you tag somebody in the middle of the field. You intentionally hit them when you hit them a place that no car should be. You heard the testimony from Officer Lamont. There's no reason a vehicle should be in the middle of that field. She hits him in the middle of the field, square on. You saw the license plate. You heard the testimony from Lamont that he believed it was square on. Dr. Krause did not testify that he was running toward the car. In fact, he said he would have gone through the windshield or up on the hood. His testimony was that it could be consistent with someone hearing someone behind and turning and being hit with the car. I think that's what happened. That's what Dr. Krause testified to. You don't accidentally run someone down in the middle of the field. You don't accidentally run someone down and keep driving. You don't accidentally run someone down and then take $128 off of them. And remember, Detective Love is the one that brings that up to her. She doesn't volunteer that she took the money off of him and her. He already knew about it because Lee Mitchell told him about it at the scene. Then you have the actions leading up to it. Brittany Zuniga sees them scuffling. Her sister yells at him. Mr. Powell moves into the street. This defendant is the aggressor. She follows him into the street and begins scuffling with him again. Then after he leaves, she runs and gets the car seats, throws him in the car. You heard Ms. Zuniga's testimony. She doesn't buckle the seats. She looks mad when she leaves, gets behind the wheel and takes off and squeals. The tires squeal as she takes off. She's angry. It's her state of mind. Warren Carter and LaQuita Jones, they hear a commotion. It's so loud, it's breaking the peace in the community. They both go outside. Warren Carter hears her screaming at him, "Get your ass in the car." It's not that she wants him to wait for the cops to get there. She doesn't want him to leave her. She doesn't want him to walk away. Get your ass in the car. She's afraid of him. In the car with her babies would be the last place she would want him. Get your ass in the car. He refuses. They both see her jump the grass line. You saw how far up into the grass line she goes. And both of them testify that it looked to them that she was intentionally trying to hit him. That's important because it's that course of conduct evidence that we talked about in jury selection. We talked about it if somebody says they accidentally shot somebody, they're cleaning their gun and accidentally shot them. Well, when you find out that they accidentally shot them once, missed, they fired the gun, missed, and they hit him the second time, it's not an accident. She takes a shot at him, misses, is further infuriated by the events leading up to it, and hits him the second time. That's not an accident. It shows her intent. Pamela Strawn, she's sitting at that intersection south of 9th Street on Harrison, and she sees this defendant get out of the car, and Miss Strawn's words were she begins to dwell on him. Miss Strawn gave a statement to Detective Killingsworth. He gave a statement to Beth Bailey, their investigator, and she testified for you. Her testimony was that her statement was consistent each of the times. She talked to Detective Killingsworth an hour and a half after this happened. She was consistent with him to what she testified in court with you. She has no motive to lie. She saw this defendant get out of the car and begin to assault him. He pushes her away and takes off running. And it's shortly thereafter that she rounds the corner and catches him in the field, and that's when she runs it down. Miss Strawn heard the tires squeal, and she heard her accelerate as she took off.